Last year, 2024, what'd you end with?
We did 1.2.
1.2, and this year we're pushing for
3
mil. Wouldn't even use Drip Drop's appointment scheduling. You schedule in your own calendar, so we wouldn't get notified when you book an appointment, but we would get notified when you close a job. And I was like, 5K, 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 5K. I was like, dude, Joe's just skipping appointments. He's just closing them over the phone.
12 years ago, I was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and I was given 6 months to live. Do not fear. Just keep pushing. No matter how scared you are, how frightened you are, just keep going. I never get comfortable. I always want to just keep going. Like, when do you really stop? You never stop. That's where I'm at. Like, I just keep setting these micro goals, and once I hit them, I go on to the next one.
What was it that specifically made you want to move forward with us? What's going on, guys? Lucas Jensen here, back with the Forward Thinking Podcast. This is episode 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? I think 15. But I got a special guest here. I got Mr. Joe Carfagno from Carfagno Professional Painting out of Ocean County. Ocean City. No, Ocean County.
Ocean County, yes.
Ocean County, dude. Man, I think you're out of, is it New Barnegat?
Well, we're like Tom's River area. Barnegat's a little further south, and we go far north to Red Bank. So like,
nice.
35 minutes north, 35 minutes south, and I'll go 30 minutes west to like New Egypt, Cream Ridge area.
Love it. In Ocean County, don't they have a show about that? OC, I think something like that. Housewives of OC or something like that.
Oh yes, yeah, they're all from Ocean County as well. Yeah.
Love it. That's actually how I met Joe. He was on the show. No, I'm kidding. But Joe has been with us since September of 2023, and had the privilege of officially meeting him in person at PaintCon. Him and his wife or girlfriend, right? Girlfriend.
That's my wife.
Your wife, fully married. Damn, yeah. Put the leash on the lion.
Yeah, 3 years now we've been married. So it's
Love
awesome.
That, man. Yeah. Love that. Well, Lucy and Joe are an absolutely incredible couple. Very down to earth, very charismatic, very giving, and just all around amazing people. And Joe himself is an absolute wolf of a business owner, and he's crushing it, man. So when we first started with Joe, you were doing around 400,000 a year in 2023.
Yeah, about 400,000. Yeah.
And then last year, 2024, what'd you end with?
We did 1.2.
1.2, and this year we're pushing for
3
mil. So 400,000 to 1.2 to 3. So basically almost tripling year after year after year.
Exactly.
Joe, what's that been like for you, dude? How's that growth feel like? What's been going on in your day to day?
It kind of feels surreal. I mean, when I first started the business, I was kind of just like old school, really wasn't familiar with a lot of the Facebook advertising and a lot of the strategies that you guys use to get clients. I was pretty much word of mouth, and as I started progressing, and when we launched with you in 2023, I saw the takeoff, and it was amazing. I mean, I went from like just kind of going steady to really just shooting right up, and then I got Joel Mercado as a coach, who really just showed me the systems and processes needed to scale the business, and to do it effectively. So like, Joel taught me how to have a business to sell it, so like in 10 years, I want to have this business and I want to be able to sell it, and just the proper organization and the structure of the business and a lot of the systems that he's put in place for me. When I first came on with Joel, I only had 4 other guys working for me, and since then, now I've doubled my crew. I have an admin now who I never thought I'd have, because I thought I can always handle all that stuff, but as you grow, as from going to 1.2 and to now, we're going to crush that. There's a lot of underlying things that happen in the business, so now I'm focusing on more higher level things. And then I have Justin, my project manager, who's handling a lot of the stuff that I used to handle, and we're scaling. We're doing really well. So it's, I couldn't ask for more. And then also I have to give a shout out to Aiden, who was another coach who really, really kind of got me tuned into drip jobs and my production costs and how to sell and he really. We just ended like a week ago my 6 sessions with him, so he was unbelievable.
Love that. Yeah, because he has the 6-week program, right?
Yes, yes. And then Joel,
Nice.
I'm on
Love
every
that.
week. We're indefinite. I'm not gonna let Joel go. He's like gold.
Yeah, he is, man. He really
Yeah.
is. Like we have a lot of clients that work with Joel, and honestly, I haven't heard one single bad thing about like how he operates and things like that. And you mentioned about building your business like you were going to sell it. So what does that structure look like? Like in 10 years, like even if you don't sell it, you still have this passively run business that's bringing you money, right? Because the only way you could really sell a business is if you're fully out of it, unless there's like owner equity where you're selling off, but you're still having to work in, or there's like a part earn out or whatnot. But the dream, if you're going to sell a business, is just a clean cut. They come in, take the business and take the reins, and then you're out of there with a nice paycheck. But what are you doing to like frame your business like you are going to sell it?
So, like recently, since I've hired my admin, and Joel went over this with me many times, and Aiden kind of helped me with this as well. Is that so? Like I'm at the head of the business, and then right underneath me, I have Justin, who's my project manager. Now, alongside Justin, I have Sean, who's my admin, and then underneath Justin, right now, I have 2 crews, one crew of 4, one crew of 3. And then Justin he's still working. He's still in the mix, but he also oversees those 2 crews. And he handles the customers. He collects the paychecks, the deposits. He picks up the paint. He delivers the paint. And then my other crew, I have 2 supervisors, Mike and Mark, and they handle the guys. So, right now, like it probably in a few months from now, I plan on having a 3rd crew, which I'm probably going to get like a sub crew. And Justin can oversee the sub crew and the 2 crews that I have now. And then he'll be out of the painting totally. So he'll be overseeing all those things. And then he'll have some other time that he is really good with cabinet refinishing. So he's been doing all my cabinet refinishing. So I think I'm going to pass all my cabinet estimates on to Justin.
And is that
they don't really take a long time to do. I mean, you're just counting the doors and drawers. You're talking to the customer. We're in and out of there in 45 minutes tops. It doesn't really take that much longer to do a cabinet estimate in this area here.
Love that. And is that going to be your first time like outsourcing the sales side? Because you're running all the quotes right now, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, a lot of times, like when my wife and I go away, like, we go away a few times a year. So when we go away, I usually outsource them to Justin, and he has proven really well at them. He does good. He's a good closer. But I have to tell you, the best closer in my company is my wife. Like she has like a 90% closing rate. When I take her on an estimate, it's usually a done deal.
I love that.
Really good. Yeah,
it's the Italian in her, man. She's convincing.
She's really personable. She's great with people, and she just has that personality.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart. I love Luz. And okay, cool. So Luz follows you on some of the quotes, and are you trying to like implement her? Because she was a teacher. Like she used to be a teacher, right? So is she coming like into the biz now?
Yeah, so she's retiring this year in June, and then she's going to be in the office at least 2 days a week because I have Sean in there now Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and he's really proven himself valuable. He's booking me at least 20 estimates a week. So yeah, so that's a lot for me, So I think at that point, probably in a few months, I'll have Justin doing a few. And then my wife will be in the office on Tuesday and Thursday. And then the other days, she could visit the crews. She could come with me on estimates. And then she's also going to be doing her own thing. She's going to start tutoring because she still loves teaching. She's not going to put that, away for anything.
Yeah. It's a passion. And you guys have been traveling, man. You went to, what's that beautiful place in the Caribbean called?
Oh, we were in Barbados in November.
And St. Lucia you went to, right?
We were in St. Lucia.
Italy, because Luz's family's there.
Yeah, we were in Italy in August. And then we're going away again the day after Easter. We're going back to Punta Cana. You were just there, weren't you?
No, I was in Turks and Caicos.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
And how was that?
Oh, dude, beautiful, man. If you haven't gone to Turks, like it's actually, so it's part of the same kind of water, like body of water as Punta Cana. Like it's just kind of across the lake from it.
Mm-hmm.
But beautiful, dude. It's like turquoise water, like the clearest water I've ever seen in my life. Like it felt like a wallpaper.
Were you
So
at a resort?
no, it was kind of well, it was a hotel, but it wasn't like an all-inclusive resort. It was kind of
Oh,
just like you stay there and then you go out to eat and stuff like that. And I personally like that because I like traveling and seeing different things and going out experiencing different food and stuff like that beyond just like an all-inclusive resort, you know?
beautiful. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
How about you
awesome.
guys? Were you staying in Punta Cana?
We're staying at the Majestic Elegance. So
Nice.
it's like a adults only resort. So we were there last year and we had such a great time. So we upgraded and we're going to go back. So
Got
it's
the
that's
got the
like a once in a
presidential
year thing.
suite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Lucy, wasn't it? She's got a 90% close rate, man. She closed you on the presidential suites.
That's it. Yeah.
I love that, dude. So, man, pushing for 3 mil this year. You told me you've already crossed over $500,000 in sales. I
Yes.
saw a couple come in today. I think you did 7K from Facebook today. Man,
Yeah.
you're just freaking rocking and rolling, Joe. So, what's your day to day like? Like, I know you're early riser, but walk me through like how do you start your day? How do you end your day? What happens throughout the day? Things like that.
So my day starts really early and I need my morning routine. Because like for me, I always say you win the morning, you win the day. So I'm up at 4:30 every day. I usually spend about 20 minutes or so. Me and my wife, we get up together. We'll read, a chapter in the Bible. We'll pray a little bit. And then I head downstairs to the basement where I have my cold plunge. I have my weights, my training. So I usually dip into the cold plunge for a few minutes. And then I get into my training session. It's with my age, I do a half hour a day. That's all I really need. And then I'm on the emails. I get on my emails. I plan my day. I usually plan my day the night before, but I kind of go over everything,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm usually out of the house every day by 7. And I usually check in with Justin. We'll have a meeting. We'll do a Zoom meeting or a FaceTime meeting, see what's going on, see what his plans are. And then I just I start my estimates. I usually go to the office. If Sean's there, we'll go over our day-to-day, what's going to happen. I'm still kind of training Sean, but we're doing it little by little. I didn't want to overwhelm him with everything. So him and I will do some role playing, what to say to customers. If things come up, potential problems that may happen, what's he going to say? And we go over that stuff. And then it's just pretty much my day of estimates, and putting out fires, some crews run into some things, and you just have to be handled, So
Yeah.
I try to, I'm really not like a boss to my guys. I try to coach them like how Joel and Aiden coached me. I kind of coach them. I don't want them to look at me as like, some tyrannical boss that, things have to get done. I mean, they have a budget, and all my supervisors in the beginning of a job get a work order with the allotted time, and if things happen, they would report back to me at the end of the day and let me know what problems happened and, what's their solution. I want to hear their solution first before I start offering my advice,
Mm.
and that's usually my they're my mornings, Oh, yeah, they're my mornings.
Nice. I like that. Show up more as a leader than a boss, or show up more as a coach than a boss. And what you said is like see what their solutions is, and that's good because that builds trust in them rather than just giving them the answer and kind of baby feeding them, quote unquote. You're kind of jumping in there and asking them to step up and them to provide you the solutions to the answers, right? So is that kind of taken from the seek to understand then to be understood framework?
I
That like
think so. And really, Joel has taught me a lot of that. Like, if I ask them their opinion and how they can solve a problem, it's more likely to stick with them as if I'm telling them. So if I'm telling them how to do it, it's in one ear, out the other. But if they're solving the problem themselves and they come up with a solution, they feel better about themselves and they'll remember it, and you still, I think there's no better way of learning is through redundancy. It's just like, I pound it in and out of their heads every day. Our structure, our SOPs, and how we're supposed to do things. And some of the newer guys, like I just hired a guy 2 weeks ago who's fitting in really well. I don't know about like in this area here. If I interview 10 people, probably 3 I'll call back for a second interview, and out of those 3, maybe 1 I'll hire. And chances of him staying on for more than a couple of months is, maybe a 50% chance, you know? So it's difficult trying to find people, but when you do find them, it's really important to be good to them, take care of them, and keep them.
Yeah, 100%. So what's your hiring process like? Like where are you finding these people?
So I go a lot. I go on Indeed.
Nice.
I have a list on Indeed. I go on LinkedIn, and then once in a while I'll put something out on my Facebook page. But I don't really get a lot of good results from Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's difficult because are you running them as ads, like boosting them kind of thing, or are you just
No, I just post them.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because when it comes to like boosting it, I wouldn't recommend really hiring through Facebook, to be quite honest, because it's categorized as an employment. Whereas like when you're doing leads and stuff, you're able to like really narrow it down and get down to like a zip code or a 1 mile radius and whatnot. But when it comes to employment and opportunities, even housing and things like that, the minimum you can go is a 25-mile radius. So if you're trying to get someone local, it really is a little bit more difficult. And then you can't even adjust, age ranges. It's 18 to 65. Like you can't find like a 25-year-old specifically if you wanted. So I wouldn't hire through paid media on Facebook. I would keep it with Indeed but even then, I mean, a 10% hire rate's really solid. If you have 10 applicants, 3 interviews, and then you do 1 hire, like that's a good number right there.
Yeah. I mean, recently, like no matter what you put on the job description, everybody's going to apply. Like, I say minimum 10 years experience, and you have to come from a painting company or recent painting experience. And then you get people that are applying from all different types of work, like what makes you think you're qualified to be a painter?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. There's like that bulk application feature, which is a little annoying. But something I think you should look into is I took this actually from Micah from Search Click Grow, but what he used to do when he was like doing like he would do like job applicant sourcing, and in his application form he'd say like type this word at the start of it in order to be qualified, right? So it's like right in the middle, and then basically it's like the word mango, right? Like something weird. And then at the start of their application, they have to include the word mango. If there's no mango, that means they didn't read through it and they're just like bulk applying. But if you have that word mango, then it kind of, it sources a little bit better there, that like they're actually going through the listing.
Yeah, I like that. Excellent.
Yeah. Cool, man. So you got 2 crews, hiring on a 3rd. You got your PM, Justin. You got Luce joining you. You got Sean running the appointments. So you're a team of what, 12 now?
Well, right now, 8, 9. I'm going to be working on my 10th guy soon. Yeah.
Sick. And when we started, man, September 2023, what was that process like? Like, where were you? Not in revenue, but just like in terms of the team size and all that.
So it was me and 3 other guys, and a lot of times I was still helping out on the jobs. I would be the guy to pick up all the paint. I would be the guy to set up the jobs, collect the money, talk to the customer. I would work for a couple hours and then go do some estimates, so I was doing everything myself. And then, as I grew, I still continued that, but I kind of just pulled off of the painting. But even so, like even when I had 6, 7 guys answering all the calls, setting up all the estimates, doing the estimates and sending them out, that was proven to be a little too much. I thought I could handle it, but it was kind of stunting my growth. And then after talking with Joel and Aiden, and then hiring the admin, that was a really big push for me.
Yeah, man, you were rocking it. Like I remember when we started, like I was telling you this pre-podcast, but you wouldn't even use Drip Jobs appointment scheduling. You schedule in your own calendar, so we wouldn't get notified when you book an appointment, but we would get notified when you close a job. And I was like, 5K. I was like, dude, Joe's just skipping appointments. He's just closing them over the phone. and then you hired Sean, and then we saw the appointments coming through. I was like, man, like this is going to be just astronomical growth for Joe now, because now it's categorized. Now you have someone delegated just specifically to that. Or what does your office admin do? Like they do obviously the appointment setting. Like what else are they taking on?
Well, first thing he does when he comes in is he'll go over like all the cold leads and all the calls that came in the day before. He'll return all those calls. He'll make sure that all my estimates for the day are confirmed. So it takes him a little bit to go through all the calls and set up estimates. His primary job right now is to get me estimates, at least 15 to 20 a week. And once he has like the next couple of days filled with estimates, he'll do. I have a thing from Joel, a production schedule, so he'll fill that out for the month, like all my jobs, the amounts, so that I'm hitting my goal at the end of the month. And then he does this thing that Aiden had. It's the 2025 business sales sheet, which also does my monthly income, my weekly, and then also the leads and then where they come from. So he fills that out. We just started doing job costing from Drip Jobs. So we're doing that now. So he's on that. And then also now, so I just started doing this because if you could see this here, this is how I was booking all my keeping my schedule. Yeah. So
pen and paper.
So now I take a snapshot of that and I send it to Sean, and he puts all that on the Drip Job calendar.
Beautiful.
So I try to, I'm usually booked out 8 weeks in advance, but I only operate at 4 weeks at a time, because you never know what's going to happen in those 4 weeks. A job may go a day or two more. It may end up closing a day early, and then I have to push something up. So I try to just do 4 weeks at a time and then go from there.
Yeah. Love that, man. Love that. And we initially, correct me if I'm not correct here, but we got connected through Tanner, right? It was via email.
Yes. I remember talking with Tanner. It was either you or Baseline Marketing.
Yeah. And then
and he's like, Joe, I think you should call Lucas. So we hooked up, and it's been awesome.
Love that, man. So that was September 2023, dude. So what was it that specifically made you want to move forward with us?
I just kind of trusted Tanner, and then I'll be honest with you. So the company I had before you, we had a lot of problems with them, like setting up the Facebook, getting the ads set up. There was always a problem. My ads weren't running. And then they were charging me quite a bit of money. And I remember after 4 weeks, I've gotten 3 leads. And I called them up. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, they didn't really give me a good explanation. So I kind of laid them off. I called you up. And then from day one, I think the first meeting we had, you already had my Facebook set up. Any problems I had with the other company were solved in a 20-minute conversation, over the phone. You showed me, I think I shared my screen. I think it was you who kind of navigated me through everything. And then you guys have just been smooth sailing all the way. So it's I highly recommend anybody using you, buddy. You're definitely a game changer in the painting world.
Ah, dude, that's amazing, man. I appreciate that, man. It's just been awesome, connecting with you. And man, we went 13, 14 months without meeting each other in person, and it was cool to officially meet you, because you came on was it the Thursday or the Friday when you came to PaintCon, when we had the group workout? You and Luce walked in, and I was like, dude, my freaking boy Joe's here, man. Let's go.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was and she really didn't know what to expect from PaintCon, and she was just flabbergasted. She's like, wow, she was amazed by you and the event you put on, and, seeing Andy Elliott out there and all, you just had some amazing speakers out there, and then we've seen a lot of them again at the PCA,
Yeah. How was the PCA? Did you enjoy it? Because that was the first time you went, right?
That was the first time. Yeah. Lucy and I had a blast. Love Colorado, we got, so now I'm a member of the PCA. So now there's a lot of stuff that they have that I've implemented in my contracts, some of their pieces, that I had Aiden kind of cut and paste because he's great at that stuff, Yeah. I'm not really that computer savvy, I can navigate my way by, but Aiden really kind of took me up a couple levels, especially with Drip Jobs and my contracts. And he got me a sales booklet that all my customers get now. When they book an estimate, they get my sales booklet.
Huge.
So a lot of those things, that's pretty big,
Yeah. And how would you, because you were a first timer at PaintCon, you were a first timer at the PCA. Obviously those two events are just completely different, right? In terms of the dynamic, in terms of the resources covered, the people there, etc. How would you compare PaintCon to PCA?
So I think PaintCon was more of a personal level, I was able to interact with people. It was a little smaller, a little more intimate. and it was great to see you guys. Plus, you had such fabulous content. Like the content at the PCA was really good, but it was just so wide spectrum. Like, there was a lot of things I really didn't need to focus on just yet, but at PaintCon, everything that you guys talked about was like in my wheelhouse, and it's like, we just wanted, I didn't want it to end. It was just so good.
I love that, dude. Yeah, man. PaintCon was awesome. Wait till you see the venue, dude. The venue we got lined up. You're honestly going to want to take that mirror behind it and just smash it on the ground, dude. Like, you're going to friggin' freak out when you see the venue. It's beautiful.
Oh, for the next one.
Oh, for PaintCon 2025, dude.
Yeah, we can't wait. Yeah, we're definitely on board.
Yeah, dude. So what was your biggest takeaway from PaintCon? I know it was kind of almost 6 months ago almost.
Yeah. So I got a little bit from everybody, like Joel is a great business coach, but he's also an awesome mindset coach. He really could frame things like, if I'm thinking negatively or worried about something, he could kind of reframe it and flip it into a positive, so I really got a lot out of that. Alex Corral, the cabinet guy, just learned a lot from him, and even speaking with him personally, I gleaned a lot of information from him. Aiden, what was excellent. There were so many guys, Russell Peach, and then there was a couple good, who was the guy from Dallas? Jason Phillips. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jason Phillips was awesome with his sales techniques, and just like a lot of overall encompassing areas that we really I needed to learn, from sales to marketing, and the systems and processes I had from Joel, but they kind of fine-tuned it for me a little bit, made it a little more clear for me.
Yeah. I love that, man. And how long you been working with Joel now?
I've been working with Joel a little over a year.
Let's go.
Yeah. And it's every meeting is awesome with them. We meet for an hour once a week, and it's great, and we don't always talk about painting, because there's only so much you can talk about painting. If I have an issue in the business, I'll bring it up to him. He'll give me some solutions. Well, I would say it's probably 50% painting and 50% mindset, because, for me, a lot of it centers between my ears, like my brain is not my friend. It works against me constantly. So I have to battle with it constantly. And that's why I do a lot of things I do. Like in the mornings, I do the cold plunges. Like I never wake up looking forward to going in that cold plunge. I never wake up looking forward to working out. Like there are some days I get excited about it. There are some days I just don't want to do it, but like, Joel has kind of helped me with the mindset that, do things that you don't want to do, be uncomfortable, and, eventually, we'll come around, Yeah. And that's basically what I've been doing,
Love that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, I think it was Russell Peach was saying, because he uses Joel for like the mindset coaching too. He was saying first call you had with Joel, they didn't even talk about business. They just talked about personal, because your personal, if you have personal issues, it shows up in your business as a business issue. But if you can tackle these personal issues one by one, your business consequently will grow because of that, right? So I think, man, I love working with Joel. Clients have nothing but good things to say about him, and he's just a genuine dude. Yeah. He is so genuine.
Exactly. And I think it's the people you surround yourself with. I'm always in communication with you. I talk to Joel. I talk to Aiden. Nick Kelly, right? He's from Michigan, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Nick,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right? Like I try to contact him once in a while. He's another great leader and great business owner. Russell Peach is also, and then who's the guy? Daniel from Integrity. He's another
Daniel
business guy. Yeah.
He's so funny, dude. I love Daniel.
So I just believe it's who you surround yourself with, and like they said, you show me your 5 best friends, I'll show you where you'll be in 5 years,
Amen.
It's all who you surround yourself with and how you think. I'm a big believer in, because I had a lot of negative thinking for a lot of years, and like if you would have told me 15 years ago I'd be where I'm at today, I would have laughed, So it's like, I believe what the Bible says, what you think in your heart you will become, and I'm just a big believer in that,
Yeah, I love that, man. So before painting, where were you? Like, what were you doing? How'd you kind of come into painting? And like, you just said like you didn't see it kind of 15 years ago, you wouldn't see yourself where you are now, but how'd you even fall into the painting industry, Joe?
So, I'll be completely transparent with you. So I started my career out in law enforcement when I was 18. Yeah. So when I was 18, I went off to the police academy. I worked in a town called North Wildwood, New Jersey. I worked there for 6 years, and I just didn't see myself doing that my entire life,
Mm-hmm.
And I made some mistakes. I made some really bad mistakes, and so I got out of that field. Then I fell into some bad habits. For about 10, 15 years, I fell into some really bad habits, and I would say when I was about 40, 45, I kind of got my act together. I cleaned up a little bit and started my first painting business. Well, I was about 42, and I started it in Rio Grande, Cape May County. And I was working for 2 developers back then. This was back in 2006, 7, and 8. And I had a really big crew back then. I started out with 4 guys, and I built it to 8. But I only had 2 developers, and I had like a small residential business going. But it was nothing like, we have now, like with the computers and with the Facebook. It was just strictly old school. And then we had the housing crash. So 2 of my developers went underwater. I went underwater, and a lot of my bad habits kind of picked up again, So I got myself cleaned up. I went to Hunterdon County. I moved up to Hunterdon County. I started a painting business there. Just me and 3 guys. And that went well. But my daughter was in Cape May County at the time. And I was driving back and forth every week. It was a 3-hour ride going back and forth. So that got old. So I advertised in Ocean County. My calendar filled up for about 2 months. I moved down, and I just started. But when I was in Ocean County, it was about 4 or 5 years. 5 years ago, I've been in Ocean County. I was getting all my work from like Yelp ads, Angie's List, Angie's ads. I was using Housing Pros, but that kept me and one other guy busy, and that was really all I envisioned myself doing, was me and another guy. As long as I worked for myself, it was going to be good. And then I started getting busier. I met an interior designer, and then he really kind of kept me going. I met another builder. They kept me going. And then you came in the picture, buddy. And it took off from there. Yeah.
Love it, dude. That's awesome, man. What an awesome story. So you had started 2 other painting businesses before this one really took off.
Yes.
Love that, man. And how old were you when you started CPP?
I was 49.
49. And you're 54 now?
I'm 56.
56, dude. I was gonna peg you as 35, brother. I was just going off your numbers.
I hear you. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow, 56, dude. And you're crushing it, man. So that's incredible, dude. I mean, look, Bezos started Amazon at what, 45? Now look at it. So it's just like, man, you have so much potential, Joe. So what's your 5-year goal here? Like from now to 2030. I know it's a little bit of a stretch and so much can happen, but what's something you'd want to see that makes you just feel that sense of accomplishment?
Well, I would like to just kind of be totally out of the business, like doing what I'm doing now, just overseeing things, focusing on like higher level problems, helping the business grow through coaching my project manager, overseeing the admin, and I just wanted to be able to where when I go away, it's not going to miss me. There's not going to be any problems, So that's what I'm kind of foreseeing now.
Yeah. Love that. And what's
Lucy and I now too, we're looking into getting a couple rental properties. We're looking now into getting a rental property, and hopefully in 5 years, we'll have a few of them. So between that and the business, we should be pretty good.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
Love that. Are you going to get them local, or are you going to get them like vacation homes, or what's that look like for you?
We're going to try. We're going to try and stay in Ocean County. I want to try to keep it local so I can keep my eye on them, and especially for the first one, and see how that goes.
Yeah. And are you going to do like short-term rentals or more long-term?
Year-round rentals, if that works out, you know.
Okay. Is tourism pretty high in Ocean County or not? Not really.
In the summertime, yeah. So we're right near Seaside Heights, Seaside Park, Ortley Beach. You know, we have Asbury Park a little north of us. So it's really busy down here seasonally.
Yeah, love that, dude. So getting into rentals is the next venture for you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting, dude. That's exciting, man. And obviously with business, it's like you have hardships, you have tough times. Obviously you have a lot of wins, but you also have those real tough days that you're like, why am I even doing this? But understanding like your why, your purpose, like why you're doing what you're doing helps with that overall, I guess, durability in the business, right? Like keeps you going, keeps you moving forward. So do you mind if I ask, like, what is your why? Like, why do you do what you do? Why did you go from 400 to 1.2 to 3? Like, why are you continuously growing this? Why do you show up for your team every day? Why do you cold plunge even though you don't feel like it? Like, what's Joe's why?
So I can tell you from where I came from, and those dark years of my life that I never thought I was going to amount to anything, you know. And then also, as I didn't bring up that I'm also a cancer survivor. So 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and I was given 6 months to live, you know. And I went through chemo and radiation. I had a major surgery, and I've been cancer free now for 12 years. You know, so I kind of feel like I've been given a second chance at life for that, and then also another chance from the addictions I suffered from. You know, and so like I wake up every day and like my why's my daughter. You know, I want to, because I was out of her life for a lot of years. You know, and now, you know, she calls me every day. I just saw her yesterday. You know, I drove down the Wildwood to see her, and it's amazing. You know, she's going to college next year, so I want to be that father figure in her life. And then my wife, you know, like I do everything I do because I want to make sure she's set up. God forbid if something ever happens to me, I know my wife's going to be taken care of, you know? So for me, it's about my family, you know, and taking care of others. And like, you know, my guys, you know, like we have a personal relationship, all of us, you know, like Lucy and I, we have them over the house. Like every other month, we have a barbecue. In the wintertime, we'll have them over for dinner. We'll take them out. You know, I try to create, you know, like a family atmosphere so everybody gets along, you know. And we also have team meetings, you know, like once a month, we'll all gather at the office. We'll talk. If anybody has a problem with anybody, there's the time to get it out. You know, we talk because, you know, we're all human. Yeah. You know, we're not always going to get along every day. People are not going to want to come to work every day. But we just have to. We do it because that's what we have to do, you know?
Yeah. Showing up is the name of the game.
Yeah. I mean, 90% is just showing up and the other 10% happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Love that, man. Yeah. And if you could tell your younger self one single piece of advice, what would it be?
Do not fear. Just keep pushing. No matter how scared you are, how frightened you are, just keep doing it. It'll come.
Do you find that was a limiting mindset for you when you first started?
I do. Fear and negativity was definitely a major obstacle for me. You know, and it's just, you know, like talking with Joel, hiring a coach, being around people, you know, going to PaintCon, being around people like yourself and all the other business owners and just going to events. Like, you know, Lucy and I, we went to an Andy Elliott event. We were actually at Andy's house. You know,
yeah, cold plunge in there, hey?
Yeah. We went to Andy's house. We talked to him. I mean, just being around people who are successful and want to succeed and have a drive for life, and that's what we have. We want to help others, you know. And another one of our major goals is Lucy and I want to open up a house, and we want to call it the Xander House. It's going to be like a sober house. So we have a house like a couple bedrooms, and people getting out of rehabs and who are struggling, you know, can rent a room from us and we can kind of get them started back in life.
That's beautiful, man. The Xander House?
The Xander House. Yeah, that's named that I had a friend of mine, Xander, who OD'd and passed away about 7 years ago. And he really impacted my life. A really smart, bright kid that just life was taken away too early.
Yeah. My condolences, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
So the Xander House, that's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, love that. That's So one piece of advice would be don't fear.
Yeah, just never quit. Just keep pushing. Even those days that things don't seem like they're working, and a big part of my life is my faith, like I believe in God, and, I know that if I just do the right thing and keep pushing, I will break through the obstacle that I'm facing.
100%. 100%, dude. I love that, Joe. I love that.
Thank
you are such a legend. And you crossed $1 million last year, which is just like a freaking awesome feeling. Seeing those, that one followed by the 2 commas and 6 zeros is definitely an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you, dude? Like, I know we brought you on stage to give you a Ford Media Millionaire Club award. Like,
that was totally unexpected too. I'll tell you, I was really surprised, and it just feels amazing. It just, you're succeeding, but I never get comfortable. I always want to just keep going, because like, when do you really stop? You never stop. Like, once you hit one goal, you set another one, and then you set another one, and you set another one, so that's where I'm at. Like, I just keep setting these micro goals, and once I hit them, I go on to the next one. There's never any rest.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I love that. And how many days are you working right now per week?
I'm 5, but like the weekends, like Saturday and Sunday, like Sundays, I try to tone it down totally and spend the day with my wife. Saturdays, once in a while, I'll do a few estimates if like I'm overwhelmed during the week, and I'll just do paperwork. I'll do my production schedule. I'll look over the business and where we're at for the following week. But weekends, not too much. Maybe about 46 hours total on the weekends.
Easy. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, my job is not really that hard. I'm not really doing physical stuff, but, some days it just seems like, when you're mentally and emotionally drained, they can be just as difficult sometimes.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And dude, what's the next event you're going to go to? Are you going to go to like one of the upcoming PCA ones, or which? Well,
all right. So Lucy and I, we were just in Texas last month. We went to this event called Life Surge. It was like a motivational Christian seminar where they had a lot of speakers. Tim Tebow was there. What other speakers were there? Greg Rochelle. I don't know if you know Greg Rochelle. He's a preacher, Christian preacher.
No, I don't.
Yeah, and then Emmitt Smith, former Dallas Cowboy running back, was there.
Oh, there we go. You had a couple football players. Hey.
Yeah. So we really enjoyed that, and then we're going to actually go to another one of them. They're going to be in Philadelphia Memorial Day weekend, so we're going to hit that one as well.
Love that. So that's the next one you got lined up.
Yeah, and then after that, I think it's going to be PaintCon 2025.
Let's go.
Yeah. Is that scheduled for November, or you're not allowed to say?
You know what? I'll give it that it is in November. I can't give a location, but I'll give it that it's in November. Yeah. Dude, that's like the perfect time in my opinion, because it's like it's November to February. It's like notoriously slow for companies. And it's like PaintCon is that surge of energy that gives you those ideas, that gives you that motivation to make sure that it isn't slow, and that you're, capitalizing on the slower times by building the business and, setting your foundation strong so that when you do have the busy time, you're way ahead of your competitors. So November is like the sweet spot.
Yeah. So I think like for 2025, our events are going to be PaintCon. We're going to do another PCA event when that's their convention. And I'm a big Andy Elliott fan. I'll probably do one of his events in Phoenix. I know David Goggins is coming in April, but we're going to be we're not even going to be in the country. So.
Oh, that's too bad, man. Me and my girlfriend Christina are going to it.
Are you? Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be cool, man. I'm a big Goggins fan.
So you're in the Brotherhood as well, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. Nice. I just joined it. Brendan Whiting signed me up, I think in January or February. Man, it's been awesome. Like, they have all their calls, and they have this awesome group chat that, like, any business opportunity or any question or things like that, you just drop it in there and someone answers it. Like, there's like the he used to own or he was a co-founder of Lyft, like Uber.
Oh yeah, who was?
His name's Randall Kaplan.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
yeah, he's a beast, man. He's in like the hotel game now, but he's a co-founder of Lyft, which is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you'll get a lot. You'll do a lot of good networking through that Brotherhood.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this is going to be like my first Brotherhood attending event at the end of the month.
Nice. Well,
yeah,
good
man.
for you, man.
It's going to be huge.
Well, I'll probably see you at one of those events. You know, the next
we'll
one.
make it happen, brother. We'll make it happen. I got to see you and Lucy again, man.
Yeah.
You guys
we
are
loved
awesome.
Arizona. That was by far my favorite state I've been to was Arizona.
Yeah.
We loved it out there.
The weather, the people, even the food. Like the food, it's got so much culture of food. Like it's awesome.
It's really nice. And then where the Lions Den is, it's in a beautiful area. I mean, you've been there, so you know.
Yeah, Fountain Hills. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, love it, dude. Well, guys, I want you all to look out for Joe because I'm telling you, he's going to be a freaking up and comer. He's going to be a big dog in the painting industry soon, and he's going to be taking over. So if you're in Ocean County, I feel bad for you because you're competing against Joe, but you should buddy up with him, man, because it's good to know your competitors. It's good to know the people you're competing against. And ultimately, Joe is just an incredible dude. So you guys just got to connect with Joe. If you see him at an event, shake his hand, say what's up to him and Lucy. They're beautiful people, and man, you're going big places, Joe. I'm excited for you, brother.
Lucas, thank you, man. It was a pleasure being on your podcast. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming here, brother. So, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right.